And we're live from Albany, Georgia. Welcome to week number 4 of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard show for the week of Friday, September 26th, 2020. I'm your host, Walter Johnson, and a lot of things to get to for week 4 as September comes to an end. And the game's being played on Friday, September 25th, 2020. The number 1 and number 2 teams in Class 6A both fall to a couple of top teams in Class 7A. Meanwhile, both the Bainbridge Bearcats and the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets get their first wins of this 2020 or 2020 campaign. The Worth County Rams win their third straight game, and a whole lot more for week 4. And so let's get right to it. And a good place to start would be down in Moultrie, Georgia, where the Colquitt County Packers ranked 4th. Colquitt County Packers, under head coach Justin Rogers, ranked 4th in Class 7A. Play host to the number 1 team in Class 6A. And Rush Probst and the Valdosta Wildcats. And the game was tied at 7 at one point, and then Colquitt County pulled away late for a 24-10 win. And the Packers pull off the upset over the number 1 Class 6A Wildcats to go to 2-0 on the season. And Valdosta falls to 2-1 after barely getting a win in their season opener over Warner Robins 28-25, and then after their game at Tift County was canceled due to COVID-19. And unfortunately, of course, there's been a lot of that going on all season long. And the previous week, the Wildcats crushed Bainbridge 45-7, and more on Bainbridge later in this broadcast, or podcast, if you will. But again, Colquitt County beat Valdosta 24-10, and the week of the games has been filled with a lot of controversy. And the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, ESPN, and the Georgia High School Football Daily Newsletter are reporting that Jake Garcia, Valdosta's starting quarterback, the eligibility of Jake Garcia is being questioned, and as well as investigated by the GHSA, and the GHSA is trying to determine whether or not Garcia or Valdosta violated eligibility rules by allowing him to transfer from his home in Southern California, all the way to South Georgia, and the reason why Garcia transferred to Valdosta from California in the first place was his home state is not playing football this fall due to coronavirus, so they're going to wait till after the new year starts, the new calendar year starts, going from 2020 to 2021, and the GHSA bylaws, Garcia's parents, his father and father, had to legally separate in order for Jake Garcia to make the move to Georgia from California. I think there's another rule that the GHSA has that athletes have to have the entire, quote unquote, entire parental unit move with them in order to become eligible. And so obviously it'll be interesting to see where that investigation goes, where it leads to. whether or not Garcia will will not only be will remain eligible, or whether they'll have to forfeit one of their 2 wins they had so far against Warner Robins. And I don't think Garcia even started in that game against at Colquitt County. But again, Colquitt County did get the win, 24-10 over Valdosta. And the other matchup between Region 16A and 178 teams took place further down Georgia Highway 133 in Valdosta at Martin Stadium, as the Lowndes Vikings play host to the Lee County Trojans. And Lee County came in ranked number 2 in Class 6A, while Lowndes came in at number 2 in Class 7A. And it was Lee County and losing for the first time in 2020 as Lowndes rolled to an easy 38-13 win over the Trojans from Leesburg. I mean, it was a really rough rough night for the Lee County Trojans. And then it started very early in the contest, and we're on 4th down, and where Lee County was forced to punt, and the snap sailed over the punter's head, and the ball went through the back of the end zone for a safety, and Lowndes took an early 2-0 lead, and then added a touchdown from there, led 9-0. And then Lowndes also took a 15-0 lead, going well in the second quarter. And Lee County scored a touchdown late in the first half, but missed a 2-point conversion. And Lee County trailed 15, and Lee County trailed 15-6 at that point, and then it just seemed like the wheels just really came off for the Trojans. And and the rest of the way, and that wasn't bad enough. Lee County head coach Dean Fabrizio was ejected for arguing with the officials during the second half. And really not much to say. And Lowndes wins over Lee County 38-13. So with the win, Lowndes goes to 4-0 on the season. And we'll have a bye next week before traveling across town to Bazemore Higher Stadium, Cleveland Field, to take on the Valdosta Wildcats. So it'll be interesting to see how Valdosta head coach Rush Probst respond. It'll be interesting to see how the Wildcats respond after such a tough loss. And the Lee County Trojans are back home next week, taking on the Lithia Springs Lions. And Lithia Springs competes in Region 6-5A in the Metro Atlanta, Lithia Springs, Georgia, just west of Atlanta. And Lithia Springs has in a region with a lot of Metro Atlanta flavor, of course. It'll be interesting to see how head coach Dean Fabrizio and the Lee County Trojans will respond after taking it on the chin down at the Lowndes. And an already Lowndes final score once again: Lowndes 38, Lee County 13. And the Bainbridge Bearcats in Bainbridge, Georgia, took on the Thomasville Bulldogs. First meeting between those two teams since way back in 2003. And the Bearcats took a 7-0 lead into the break. And then Thomasville tied it at 7, and then the Bearcats scored the game's final 14 points with a couple of touchdowns. And the Bearcats ranked 7th in Class 4A, despite an 0-2 overall record, coming in, pulling off the upset over the number 6 team in Class AA in the Thomasville Bulldogs. Final score, Bainbridge 21, Thomasville 7. And Thomasville had won back-to-back games since losing their heartbreaker to Brooks County down in Quitman, Georgia. And then the Bulldogs had easy convincing wins over arch rival Thomas County Central. And just a couple of weeks ago, the week before last, and as well as the 7 win over Cairo just last week. And big win for head coach Jeff Littleton and the Bainbridge Bearcats. Final score once again, Bainbridge 21, Thomasville 7. And Colquitt County's next opponent would be the Wolves of Dothan High School down in Dothan, Alabama. And Dothan, Alabama was to play host to the Cairo Servemakers from down in Cairo, Georgia. But again, COVID-19 claimed yet another contest, as that game was canceled due to the coronavirus. And then that came after a Cairo player tested positive for the coronavirus. It seems like a lot of games have been canceled lately. And Servemakers' next scheduled game will be next Friday, October 2nd, just up the road in Pelham, Georgia, taking on the Pelham Hornets. But it's seriously doubtful at this point that contest will be played due to COVID-19. And the Pelham Hornets are already in quarantine due to COVID-19, and the Pelham Hornets already had some games, had at least a couple of games called off due to COVID-19. And Pelham last played on September 11th, and that's when the Hornets fell at Early County 35-21. And the Bobcats have been quarantined as well. And Early County was supposed to play at Mitchell County last week, and then they were supposed to go the week before actually, on the 18th, and then this past week, Early County was also supposed to travel into Alabama to take on Enterprise. But both of those games have been called off, and Early County's next scheduled game would be home against the Westover Patriots from here in Albany on October 2nd. And that game's not a given, and even as I'm talking. And Tift County was supposed to play host to Coffee as well. That game too has been canceled because the Blue Devils have still been quarantined, and they're just only now getting reacclimated under the Georgia High School Association's rules. And Tift County is scheduled to go to Ocilla next week to face Irwin County, the defending Class Single A Public School state champs. And the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets traveled up to Barnesville, Georgia, some 40 miles northwest of Macon, to face the Lamar County Trojans. And just like the Bainbridge Bearcats, Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets and head coach Ashley Henderson got their first win of their season under their belts, as they knocked off the Lamar County Trojans 41-24, and Lamar County started the season 2-0 before losing a tough win in overtime to Jackson 23-22, and then the Trojans from Lamar County lose their second straight contest, losing to the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets 41-24. And a couple of big wins tonight for both Bainbridge and Thomas County Central. And big confidence boosters for both teams, as September comes to a close. Because coming into this week's action, the week of September 25th, and both Bainbridge, Cairo, and Thomas County Central were combined 0-7 in non-region contest. And in the three Dougherty County the three teams in the Dougherty County school system, and the Dougherty Trojans, the Monroe Tornadoes, and the Westover Patriots don't get their season started until next week. In Dougherty County, have been on the sidelines since almost the middle of August due to coronavirus, and during that time, one coach at Dougherty and another coach at Westover had tested positive for coronavirus, and hopefully both coaches have been fully recovered by now. And Dougherty will host Turner County at Humo Stadium next week, and Monroe heads to Macon to face Northeast. And Westover, as mentioned earlier, will travel to Early County down in Blakely, Georgia. Just about a good 10, 20 miles or so from the Chattahoochee River and the Alabama border. But again, COVID-19 permitting, and then that's how the season will start for Dougherty, Monroe, and Westover. And another big game took place in McDonough, Georgia on Friday night. And the Crisp County Cougars, last year's state runners-up in Class AAA, took on the defending Class Single A private school state champions, the Crusaders of Eagles Landing Christian Academy. And it was Crisp County and Eagles Landing Christian Academy, or ELCA, or even ELCA, if you will, their first loss. And final score, Crisp County Cougars 34, Eagles Landing Christian, or ELCA 14, 34-14. Crisp County remains undefeated, going to 3-0 on the season. And Crisp County was to play the Jackson Red Devils out of Jackson, Georgia. But head coach Brad Harbor told the Georgia High School Scoreboard radio show up in Atlanta by way of 680 The Fan and Extra 106.3 Sports Radio and all the other stations on that network that the next week's game between Crisp County and Jackson was postponed because players on the Jackson squad, a few players on the Jackson squad tested positive for coronavirus. And like I said so many times before, this is the reality that we're living in, and this is the reality that we're living in right now. And let's see, and Crisp County actually trailed 14-12 at one point, and then held ELCA scoreless the rest of the way. And final score once again, Crisp County 34, Eagles Landing Christian Academy, or ELCA 14, 34-14. Crisp County wins over ELCA. And looking through some more scores, and the Brooks County Trojans, last year's state runners-up in Class AA, only to drop down to Class Single A Public during last year's reclassification, traveled up the road to Adel, Georgia, to take on Cook, and Brooks County escaped with a 25-20 win to remain undefeated at 3-0. And Cook was looking for its second straight win over a Class Single A team, having rallied from a 20-0 deficit to upset Irwin County 21-20 last week. And Cook tried to do it again this week, but head coach Jimmy Rogers and his Hornets fell 5 points short, 25-20. And also up in Louisville, Georgia, the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes remained undefeated after edging Jefferson County 14-12. And the Worth County Rams have now won 3 straight games since losing their opener to Turner County 35-21 back on September 4th. And the Rams came from behind to knock off Mitchell County and then took down America Sumter last week. And the Rams, under first-year head coach Philip Ironside, did it again. This time they traveled to Macon and defeated the Rutland Hurricanes 30-20. So Worth County's now 3-1 on the season. So it's been an amazing season so far, or amazing run so far for this Worth County Rams team that's now on a roll with 3 straight wins. And then I'm thinking at the beginning of this season, everyone said at the beginning of this 2020 season that the Worth County Rams would go 3-1, and at the end of September, I think a lot of people would have laughed. And it seems like Philip Ironside's been getting the job done over in Sylvester. And that team's been getting the job done so far. And once again, Worth County wins it over Rutland up in Macon. Final score, Worth County 30, Rutland 20. And next up for the Worth County Rams. And Worth County's actually off next week. And they'll be back in action on Friday, October 9th, playing host to the Tift County Blue Devils. And hopefully by then, head coach Ashley Anders and the entire Blue Devil staff will have fully recovered from the effects of COVID-19. And as mentioned earlier, Tift County will play host to Coffee next week, barring any further complications from the coronavirus. And wrapping things up with some scores from other games here in the Southwest Georgia network coverage area, and another contest across town in Macon. The Deerfield Windsor Knights took on the Tattle Square Trojans in their GHSA Region 1 Single A private debut. First ever region contest for the Deerfield Windsor Knights in their first year in Class Single A private, first year in the Georgia High School Association period. And sadly, the Knights fell to Tattle Square 34-7. And with the loss, Deerfield Windsor not only falls to 2-2 overall, more importantly, the Knights fall to 0-1 in GHSA Region 1 Single A private. And elsewhere in Region 1 Single A public, Atkinson County and picks up another win over another Region 1 team last week. Atkinson County got by the Terrell County Green Waves 20-18 this week. This week, Atkinson defeated the Miller County Pirates 28-14 over in Pearson, Georgia. So Miller County goes to 1-3 on the year after losing to Atkinson County. And I mentioned the defending Class Single A Public School State Champions from Irwin County. And Irwin finally gets their first win of the season as they roll past Wilkinson County 44-0. And Irwin County goes to 1-2 on the season, and losing their opener on September 11th at Fitzgerald, and then blowing that 20-0 lead against Class AA Cook, and eventually losing 21-20. And Irwin gets the big win. Next week they'll host the Tift County Blue Devils in the Battle of next door neighbors along US Highway 319. In a battle of teams that have where both their coaches tested positive for coronavirus, COVID-19. Ashley Anderson at Tift County and Casey Soliday at Irwin County. And Soliday, by the way, I think got his first win as Irwin County's head coach. And obviously, hopefully doing much better. And again, Irwin County over Wilkinson County, 44-0. And it was in another game, involving a Class Single-A school from our area, played in Macon. It was Patola Charter losing 15-7 to Ace Charter. 15-7, 1-5 for Ace, 7 for Patola. 15-7, Patola Charter loses to Ace Charter. Patola Charter is located in Edison, Georgia. This is also the home of the Calhoun County Cougars. And then the Thursday newsletter of the Georgia, and the Thursday edition, I should say, of the Georgia High School Football Daily Newsletter. And the Calhoun County Cougars, looks like they're might try and play some football after all this fall. 20, and the Georgia High School Football Daily Newsletter recently reported that Calhoun County became the first of 10 teams to decide to try to play some kind of a season after announcing that their entire season had been canceled. So really don't know what's going on out there at Calhoun County High School, but apparently, seems like very few cases have been reported within Calhoun County of late. So thinking, it seems like the staff the coaching staff and say the athletic staff at Calhoun County decided, okay, let's try and maybe get in a handful of games. Let's at least play our region games. Just see what happens and going forward. Elsewhere, in another Region 1 Single-A public team, the Randolph Clay Red Devils out of Cuthbert, Georgia, traveled to, yes, you guessed it, Macon, to take on the Southwest Patriots, and Southwest Macon won easily over Randolph Clay, 39-6. And over in Ashburn, Georgia, Turner County kept Seminole County winless with a easy 45-0 win. And Seminole County now 0-3, and already having lost to Early County, then to a GISA team in Brookwood from Thomasville, and now Seminole loses to Turner County. Well, score once again, Turner County 45, Seminole County nothing. And it looks like Turner County bounced back quite nicely after losing to Fitzgerald 21-6 last week. Whereas, I don't know if that's the final score or not, but I do know that Turner County did lose to Fitzgerald previous week, and then this past week, Friday, September 25th, Turner County once again defeated Seminole County, won easily 45-0, and wrapping things up. And Brookwood tried to get their second straight win. And this is the GISA report. And Brookwood out of Thomasville tried to get win number 2 in a row over another GHSA team in Lanier County. But the Bulldogs out of Lakeland, Georgia, won easily 44-8. And wrapping things up. And Southland Academy out of Americus loses again. This time to Pinewood Christian out of Belleville in an unincorporated town in southeast Georgia. Final score 38-6. And Tift area wins a close win over Frederica 21-18. And Valwood out of Valdosta gets a win over another GHSA team in Baconton Charter. Final score 42-7. Valwood wins that game. And finally, Gatewood paired out over the Terrell Academy Eagles out of Dawson, 14-0. And Southwest Georgia Academy Warriors out of Damascus, Georgia, right on the Calhoun Early County line. I think Damascus, Georgia is more in Early County. And in any case, then in Calhoun County, I think Arlington, is split in half between Calhoun and Early counties. And Southwest Georgia Academy is down the road in Damascus, Georgia. And in any case, Southwest Georgia Academy goes to 2-1 with a 41-7 win over Lafayette Christian. And on that note, that's going to end this episode of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show for the week of Friday, September 25th and Saturday, September 26th of 2020. This has been your host, Walter Johnson, and you can listen to a replay of this program online at southwestgeorgianetwork.com. Also follow the Southwest Georgia Network on Twitter at SWGA Network. And have yourself a good weekend. And as always, stay safe and sound. God bless you. And goodbye.